And one more time. What is up, all you YouTube viewers and YouTube fans? 'Tis I, Brent Murphy, and I'm still here on YouTube, as well as I am on Vimeo. And I am also on Twitch.tv under LPBrandon31. Remember, folks, so you have to at some point, some which, some way, somewhat, some when, and or somehow. And today, folks, in this video today, guys, that I would like to talk or discuss about is Phoenix Wright's case. That's right, folks. And that case that I'm talking about, folks, is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, meets My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, The Element of Justice, Case 1, which in this here case that I guess the Element of Justice group or gang called it the Turnabout Theater. So let's go ahead, folks, and discuss about that. But before we do, a minor warning and reminder to you guys, if you guys haven't seen the video, then I suggest you folks go watch it, because I will be spoiling this throughout this discussion about the I will be spoiling this as I go through this discussion, or as I go through folks Phoenix Wright's case of solving this turnabout, as I go through talking and discussing about Phoenix Wright's case, which is him, folks, defending Coco Plumel or Palmo or whatever they pronounced it. So yeah. But if you guys have seen it, then let's get down and right to me discussing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney's case called the Turnabout Theater, and about his client as well as the victim who has been killed and murdered. Okay, so here we go. So, how does this all start and begin? Well, I've seen it since the beginning of the Turnabout Theater case that I've already seen and watched. And we don't know for sure yet, but my guess is, if I had to have a hunch for any of this stuff, since I used to be Brennan the Ultimate Gentle Bear, but now I'm I'm Brennan the Bear of Despair, and on Steam and on Discord, because quite frankly, and that's right, I'm also, folks, going to be shouting out people's names about this, but here goes. And those people that you folks can go check out will be in my channel, and you can go check them out and give them support. But anyways, the people I'm gonna name off, I'm gonna shout them out, is Pancakes, or is what they call it, or as he calls himself, PancakeLegend OscarTheFox, and so much more, that they hate me so much that I had to, folks, sadly rain despair on them. But before all that, I used to be helping people out. Hang on, sorry. Excuse me. Oh, I had something in my nose. Okay, but anyways, so before all that happened and started, let's just say I used to be on the side of good and making people happy by us, by me, folks just pushing and leading people towards hope and victory or gloriousness and whatever. But how do I say this? For each time or each match or each game mode I go to on Team Fortress 2, it's like we're not getting. It's like we always end up losing in those games. That it brought me so much despair, and that's what turned me around to where I folks have to sadly rain despair on people. So in other words is, and as I've told Finabusnot about this, is that basically these games such as like Team Fortress 2, League of Legends, Dota, Smite, and or anything else that's MOBA, our goal is to, folks, lead people towards victory as well as, folks, lead them towards or work together in so on and so forth. Not to mention come up with a strategy plan and whatnot, but no. Instead, people don't fucking, or excuse me, for swearing, I meant to say, people just don't give a damn. Let me just say that instead of swearing. Because I'm doing the best I can to not swear. But anyways, the point is, people just don't give a damn about working together as a team. And even folks coming up with a strategy plan. So, yeah. And if that's the case, then I gotta turn that stuff around, guys, and start raining despair on people. Which is why, in my channel, I'm stream sniping, and it's not even bullying, it's not even a matter of harassing them, or even, one which, guys. It's all about, well, But my point still stands that, when I stream snipe people, I stream snipe people because I want to punt, because in a Danganronpa reference, I gotta give everything I got to punish PancakeLegend, to punish and execute OscarTheFox in Team Fortress 2 and whatnot. Okay? But anyways, moving on. About Phoenix's case. So, anywho. So basically, Coco, and I'm just gonna say, and yes, folks, I'm just gonna say the word Coco because Coco's last name is hard to say. But anyways, so Coco has been, Coco has been found as a killer, and we'll get to the end of why Twilight Sparkle called Phoenix Wright, but for the meantime, Twilight Sparkle, who is now, folks, as we've seen from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic season, I'm guessing 4 or maybe 3 through so many seasons. We're going now to the point where Twilight Sparkle is now, folks, an alicorn. That means she's a Pegasus, unicorn, and also an Earth pony. All combined together in one big, huge ball. Let's put it that way. She's just filled with, or tied up in a big, huge ball. But anyways, she calls out for Phoenix Wright. And she could have done this herself, but we'll get to that in a moment. So she calls out Phoenix Wright, along with her friends Athena Sykes, Apollo Justice, and Trucy. The thing that I folks don't get in any of these videos that I've seen from Element of Justice is, and not that I'm saying that adding Athena Sykes or Apollo Justice or even Trucy Wright is bad. I'm just saying that they should have also added Maya Fey or Portal Fey, because Maya Fey and both Portal Fey have the ability to spirit channel people. In other words, they have the ability to transform into someone who has already died. But they said they had to keep it simple with just 4 people. And once again, those 4 people are Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and Trucy into the mix. So that kind of bummed me out, but that's just how Element of Justice wants to work that stuff out. So, anyways, so Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, along with Athena Sykes, Apollo Justice, and Trucy, they all end up in Equestria, where now Princess Twilight Sparkle ends up now with, and of course with her friends, which and by Princess Twilight Sparkle's friends, folks, we're talking about the other main 5 characters, which we're talking about Applejack, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy. All 5 of those people are Princess Twilight Sparkle's friends. Anywho, so as soon as they appear in Princess Twilight Sparkle's realm or domain, or even castle, if you folks want to call it that, Trucy Wright, Athena Sykes, and even Polo Justice, they're both, all 3 of those people are surprised because they're seeing ponies, guys, and I can't disagree to something like that. If I was in Princess Twilight Sparkle's realm, domain, or even castle, I too would be surprised to see the lead boss of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, along with these other main 5 characters, and me. No, actually, hang on. I folks would just be like this and just go, what? Covering my eyes. That you folks just saw when me moving my hands and whatnot. But anyways, point is, I would be like rubbing my eyes, and I would go, excuse me? Please someone tell me I'm not. Please someone tell me I'm dreaming here. And that's what Athena, Trucy, and even Polo was thinking in their heads as they saw Princess Twilight Sparkle, along with the other main 5 of the characters of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. But bottom line, or moving on, so Princess Twilight Sparkle talks to talks to Pablo Justice, Phoenix Wright, Thena Sykes, and Trucy about their best, or more like Rarity's best friend, Coco, being the criminal mastermind, and it's up to Phoenix Wright to set her free. But the thing is Coco the suspect, though? And that's where everything, folks, began. As Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, excuse me. Okay, sorry. But anyways, as Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Pablo Justice, Thena Sykes, and Trucy Wright followed them to the scene of the crime, which is Manhattan's Theater, where a brony died, or as they say in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, a gentle colt has been killed and murdered. And it was up to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, and his or her gang looking into the case. So they've picked up evidence piece by piece and little by little, but while they were doing so, they bumped into the stage director, I guess. And I forgot his name, but I'm just going to say that he was a stage director or whatnot. Excuse me. Oh. God damn my lip. Anyways. Moving on, where was I? Oh yeah, talking about the case. So, as Phoenix Wright and Rarity and all the rest of the gang was in, how do I say this? They were having a confrontation with the stage director and Coco's best friend, or rivalry. I forgot her name, but we'll get to that. But I'm just gonna say it was Coco's rivalry friend. Sorry, that's it. Sorry. Now that it came back to me. So Phoenix Wright and the gang bumped into Surrey. They bumped into the stage director. They even bumped into many things as they were still doing the investigation and confrontation. What else? Oh yeah. Okay. So and then after that, that was when trials folks began, and the first victim, no, the first witness, I guess, was the security guard. Then the stage director, and then finally the defendant that Felix Ray had to sadly defend was Coco. And after through all that, part one of the trial is what I'm folks gonna call it, because normally, folks, in real life, these trials don't even last long, but in video games, and even in folks in this here case that I'm talking or discussing about, folks, they had to take like 2 or 3 days to get everything together. So that was that. Then the second part of the trial, after Phoenix Wright and the gang had their second investigation, it was time for part 2 of the so-called case. I mean, not case, but it was part 2 of the trial, where and this is what Phoenix Wright was thinking about. He was thinking that if there was a third party member who could have killed Overall Concept, which is, folks, by the way, the victim of this case that I'm discussing about with you all, that if there was a third person that was murdering or killing Overall Concept, then, and this is what Phoenix Wright's guess was, it would have to be Coco's rivalry friend Surrey. But however, Prince Blueblood, which is, I'm guessing, it is Princess Celestia's older brother or younger brother or whatever it was. But my point still stands that Prince Blueblood thinks that it's preposterous. Now, I've seen, no, like I was saying, how I say this, actually. Okay, so the way things work, when I first played Phoenix Wright's attorney games, prosecutions are always like saying, objection, and that's preposterous, and blah 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 blah, and yada yada yada, and PPPPSS. And even folks saying stuff like, where's your proof, defense? And better yet, why don't you show it to my face? That's what Prince Blueblood was saying to Phoenix Wright and Princess Twilight Sparkle in that case. However, I know Phoenix Wright, and Phoenix Wright also should know me, because we both know that we do have something against them, or against prosecutions. The only problem is, if it was folks' real life, then there are no prosecutions, and you have to defend yourself with evidence and everything else to be prepped and ready for. Let me think. Anyways, moving on. So Phoenix Wright did have evidence, and the evidence that he had in order was the autopsy report, the blank and wrapped up paper towel or fabric roll or any of the sort. There were 2 fabric rolls, by the way, guys. There was an empty fabric roll filled with glitter. The other one was a full wrapped up fabric roll and sheet. Let's see what else. There was a glow in the dark hoof prints, as well as the rope, and finally, as the case went on, Surrey stated something about, now you see here, I did not do this, okay, and even if so, you don't got any proof or evidence. And that's when Phoenix Wright was like, nope, I do have evidence, I do have proof, and my proof is what you're wearing right now. But I don't think that's the case. Because, I mean, that's like a Danganronpa V3 reference, and spoiler alert, if you folks have never played Danganronpa V3, then I suggest you play the game before I say this out loud. But if you guys have, then get ready for what I'm about to say. But normally in Danganronpa V3, and even in Phoenix Wright's case, sorry, or overall concept would have to be like, would be strangled to death. Hang on. Sorry. Gosh, my nose, guys, just keeps bothering me. I don't know why. But, anyways, my point is, if overall concept was being strangled by Suri or Coco with a scarf, then that's like Mew being strangled by a paper towel roll or a roll full of toilet paper, and it would be like and die from that stuff. But that's not. I don't think that's possible. This is what Phoenix Wright and I thought. So, anyways, moving on. So going back to this case, Phoenix Wright was, no, more likely Coco was just about to get the non-guilty verdict after we thought that Suri was the one that killed, after Suri was being killed, folks, was killing overall concept, but then Coco had to interrupt, and she was all like, and I don't know how to do her voice, but she was like, You're doing it all wrong. Suri didn't do this. And Suri's like, Coco, shush up and just admit your victory. But sadly, Coco had to throw down one last witness testimony, which was the secret that we all should have heard in a doggone beginning of this case. But, so, after we went through all that, Phoenix Wright was like, wait a minute. So something's still not right in this picture. What could have killed overall concept? And I was thinking this too until I thought up this hunch and contradiction. And once again, folks, I know how these systems work. So, and this was my hunch and contradiction, that if folks, if Coco was right there behind overall concept, and Suri was in front between overall concept and Coco, then my guess was there was something that was missing there. And so, my hunch and contradiction was that there should have been, folks, the empty fabric roll, which folks had glitter. So, what Phoenix Wright did was he presented the fabric roll to the court, and as well as the rope that the victim was hanging on to. And there was, folks, actually glitter on the rope as well as on the empty fabric roll. but everyone was still puzzled as to how Overall Concept died. Well, let me guess, or take a wild guess here. So Phoenix Wright, in Phoenix Wright's case of this Turnabout Theater, Phoenix Wright was like thinking very hard, how did Overall Concept died? Which, I mean, I have already know how Overall Concept died, but I didn't want to say anything yet until I see what, no, until I saw what really and fully happened to Overall Concept. That is why I'm reminding you all, folks, if you haven't seen this, if you guys have not seen this episode, or even through the whole entire Turnabout Theater case, go watch it now. Otherwise, if you guys have, then this is where I'm going to spoil the big moment, the big finale. And as that one song saying go, I'm going to be spoiling the final countdown. Alright, so the final countdown, the finale, the biggest moment that, as to how did Overall Concept got killed? Well, the simplest answer was he got killed by not just hanging himself on a rope, but he also hit himself on the head on the catwalk. And as I've heard that, I'm like, wait a minute, how can one person kill themselves on a catwalk? They have to bungee jump. Here, let me show you folks. Well, I can't show you folks, but I can explain this all out, or do the best I can to explain this all out. So say for example, if you folks seen and remember the movie Batman with Michael Keaton and even Jack Nicholson, then the way these things work is this. The joke, Jack, aka Jack Nicholson, who played Jack, as well as the Joker, he folks would jump over the catwalk and just dip himself into the chemical, into Acme chemicals and whatnot. And that would be the end of Jack, but that's where we come to seeing the big revealment that Jack wasn't really dead. He was just, his face was just, folks, ruined by the Acme chemical, which, this is just a friendly reminder to everyone in real life. Do not jump into Acme chemicals, because they will ruin your face so much. Just like in that movie, The Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger and the other voice actor who did Harvey Dent, and who also is Two-Face. Yeah, all those things could ruin your face, man. Like, just completely. But anyways, to end this case of Phoenix Wright's, so that's, folks, pretty much how and what happened to Overall Concept, which Coco got the non-guilty verdict, but because of what Surrey did, which was framing or blackmailing, not to mention planting this whole entire kill stuff on Coco, and as what they called it in the case, prejuring. Yeah, prejuring stuff. Not to mention messing with the crime scene. Yeah, Surrey folks instead went to prison, just like in Turnabout Storm. which if you folks haven't seen that either, super long story short, so Nanda Gloom got the guilty verdict because she killed her own boss. Okay, simple case in that. And so after Coco got the not guilty verdict, the victory was all Phoenix Wright's, and yet, however, Phoenix Wright was still puzzled, and so asked Princess Twilight Sparkle that if she wanted a what Phoenix Wright's question was, why was he summoned, or why was he brought, when Princess Twilight Sparkle could have solved this whole entire shebang out herself. And this is where, folks, we come to the climax moment where Princess Twilight Sparkle herself had a dark and secret, but not like those dark Cyclops like in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destiny, where Athena Sykes had all these dark Cyclops that not even Phoenix Wright or Apollo Justice can gosh darn break. No. These are just like regular Cyclops where that Phoenix Wright sadly has to use his Magatama and find out why Phoenix Wright was summoned. So, I mean, that's the climax right there, and I don't know why why would Princess Twilight Sparkle had to summon Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Polo Justice, Athena Sykes, and as well as Trucy. But my guess is, and this is, folks, just my hunch, my guess is there are so many cases that Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, as well as Polo Justice, Athena Sykes, all three of those people have to answer to. But, like I was saying in the beginning, what I don't get is why couldn't they also bring in Miles Edgeworth, or maybe perhaps our greatest puzzle solver, Professor Herschel Layton? Because I mean, the way I've played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney versus Professor Layton is that Professor Herschel Layton is a great and awesome puzzle solver. No matter how hard or tough these puzzles are, usually and normally Herschel Layton and Luke Triton would be there to solve these puzzles in a snap, which I can't snap, folks, by the way, so I'm just gonna do this instead. That no matter how hard or no matter how tough these puzzles are, Professor Herschel Layton and Luke Triton will solve these puzzles in a like that. Just get that job done. Get that puzzle solved quick and fast. Same with Miles Edgeworth when I played that, both of his games actually. Miles Edgeworth has great logic ability, as well as he has that game we people call chess logic, where you have to beat your opponent with 6 pieces of chess, which we folks got the pawn, the bishop, the knight, the queen, the king, and the rook. Those are the 6 pieces of chess. But yeah. But once again, the Elemental of Justice company or group or band or whatever, they're like, we still want to keep this simple enough to just have 3 great Ace Attorney people to solve this case in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney meets My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Elements of Justice. Which, I mean, to me it's fair, but... I mean, to me it's not fair, but to them, that's all they could, folks, ever do, is to just add 3 people, when they could have added, folks, just 5 people. Like, again, and I quote, they should have added Maya Fey, or Pearl Fey, with the ability to transform, or do that spirit channeling, and talk in spirits of people who died and whatnot. Or they could have thrown, like I said and mentioned, Professor Herschel Layton, because again, folks, I'm just saying that I've played Professor Layton games. I've also played Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and honestly, folks, again, I'm going to say this again, Professor Herschel Layton makes a great puzzle solver, to where, again, no matter how hard the puzzles are, no matter how tough the puzzles are, for Professor Herschel Layton and even Luke Triton will get those puzzles done. Get that case solved. Quick and easy. That goes in with when, if I remember correctly, when I played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney versus Professor Layton sadly had to volunteer as a prosecution, to where he has to face, sadly, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. But, like Phoenix Wright said, they're both looking for the truth, and that's what Professor Layton also does. He wants to look for the truth, but to do so, he needs to be like Phoenix Wright. He has to have all the evidence ready, and so on and so forth. While for Miles Edgeworth, all he needs to do is use his logic, use even his chess logic, and also, just like each and every prosecution, they could just present evidence. And not to mention, Miles Edgeworth has this ability to where they could, if, and I'm just saying this as an example, but if Miles Edgeworth came face to face with me and I gave him my confrontation, he has to battle against me, folks. Sorry. Damn it. Yeah, man. Fuck. He has to, folks, sadly rebuttal against me and my confrontation. And that's just how their system works. But anywho, so that's, folks, the discussion of how Phoenix Wright's case went, and on a scale of 1 to 5, I give Elemental Justice Turnabout Theater case a 3, because that case went so well, but it could have gone better if, as I said, mentioned in a quote, now, and I quote, if Miles Edgeworth was there, or if Professor Layton was there, and or if even the Faye sisters was there. And I'm talking about, folks, Maya and Pearl Faye. But again, sadly, this is, damn it, this is, folks, the elemental of justice that we're talking about here, folks. And sadly, they can't add Maya Faye into the mix. They can't add Pearl Faye. They can't add the Faye sisters to the case, like Maya or Pearl Faye. They can't add Miles Edgeworth to the case. They couldn't even add Professor Herschel Layton to the case, because it's too much people. So they had to keep it simple with just Phoenix Wright's attorney. Damn it. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so as I was saying, they had to keep it simple with just having Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Polo Justice, Tina Sykes, and Trucy Wright in this here video, or in their mix. So, yeah. Now, before I end this here discussion about this case for Phoenix Wright, or that Phoenix Wright had to go through, I just have this big, huge question for Elemental of Justice, and that is, will they make another case, but with Athena Sykes, or with Apollo Justice? Because, once again, folks, they just went through a case for Phoenix Wright, which was that Turnabout Theater. So, I'm expecting probably, maybe, hopefully, folks, in March, or maybe February. I'm expecting to see them do a case with Apollo Justice or with Athena Sykes, for that matter, because from what I've seen in just a few days ago, they're thinking on doing Apollo Justice case next, but I mean, they'll have to still go through some works of what Apollo Justice has to go through in the future, and as well as they have to go through what Athena Sykes might have to go through in the future. But in the meantime, that is pretty much, folks, all this discussion about Phoenix Wright's case. And folks, as always, I will be here. Maybe I won't be here. Considering the fact that I'll be moving on, starting January 2021. In other words, folks, I'll be starting fresh and moving on from YouTube to Vimeo, which folks it doesn't mean that I'm getting rid of my account on YouTube. It's just these copyrights and laws that we all have to sadly follow, and I don't appreciate what YouTube has to tell us here. So yeah, again, folks, I might have to go to Vimeo and re-upload all my gameplays and walkthroughs of games I went through, as well as Danganronpa and Minecraft games I went through. And by 2021, which is January, I might, folks, have to also upload new Danganronpa games as well as new Minecraft games there. But that's all, folks, once again in January 2021. Finally, and also, folks, before I go, don't forget, in February 2021, folks, will be streaming new games, such as folks, I'll be bringing back Ozu. I'll be bringing back as well as, folks, I'll be bringing back Hide and Shriek. I mean, not Hide and Shriek, but I will be, folks, bringing back Hide and Seek. I will be streaming, folks, Hide and Seek, and yeah, many other things that I might stream in the future. So be sure to, folks, stay tuned for that during February 2021. And as always, I am yours truly, folks, Brandon Murphy, here on YouTube and also on Vimeo, as well as I am LPBrand31 on Twitch.tv. Remember, folks, so you have to, at some point, some which, some way, somewhat, somewhen, and or somehow, saying to you all goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Francois. Sayonara. Stay clean, stay healthy, eat good, bad, and or junk food. Um, stay indoors if you folks have to. Um, and unless you folks are going shopping outside, I recommend you folks wear masks. Um, just to be sure you guys don't get caught by any store associate. And as always, please sing their song, folks. Keep it simple.